Hi again. So doing 2 videos in one day today. I wanted to discuss with you, there's 2 big readathons I am participating in here in the month of July. One is coming up here on the 21st. It's called the 24 and 48 hour readathon. The whole purpose of that is to take that weekend, the 21st and the 22nd, that 48-hour period, and to read for 24 hours during that time period. It's a lot of fun. This will be my second time doing this particular readathon, and it's interesting because you set yourself a timer, like a stopwatch or a way of tracking your time, and you just read as much as you can. Audiobooks count, ebooks count, children's books count, whatever you want to read completely counts for this time, but the goal is to actually read for a full 24 hours at the end of that time. This is a great time to catch up on those TBRs and to really push yourself to get some reading in, staying away from some of the other social medias or, less TV binge watching weekends or anything else you may have going on, and just really get in there and get that reading caught up. The other readathon I am doing is the Dewey's 24-hour readathon. Now, normally that runs at the last weekend of April and in October, but they're doing a reverse readathon here this spring where they're actually doing a 12-hour jump in the time. Instead of normally they start at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. They're going to be doing an 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that is going to be, I believe, one second here, the 27th of July. They are doing that readathon. I will link both sites down below so you can get more information and sign up for either one of these. That one, some people try to read for the full 24 hours. Some people even just participate for an hour, and it completely counts. This one's a lot of fun. I love to get friends, family, kids involved in this one because everything counts. If you have kids, this is a great time for them to catch up on their summer reading, because that often falls behind, and with school coming up, if they haven't caught up, this is the chance. Get them going, get them involved in something fun while they're at it, where they can even win some, some fun stuff. I'm actually not sure if they're doing prizes. I'll have to say they were, but I'm honestly not sure if they are, because this is kind of a last minute one. It's a little different. I don't think it's going to get as big as their regulars, but we'll see how big it does get. So with some readathons like this, if you have a standard full week readathon or a month-long thing or anything like that for a reading challenge, you can just, read a little here, read a little there. These are a little different, especially for like the Deweys, if you're going for the full, trying to get close to the full 24 hours. I usually end up getting somewhere between like 18 and 22 before I'm done. And the other one is reading still a lot within a short period of time, while Dewey's is sometimes taking naps or cooking or exercising or doing other things in between. There's, they don't keep as much track of how much you're actually reading beyond what you choose to. So my biggest tip is, if you're doing anything like this for a readathon, my biggest thing is to hydrate. Water is going to be crucial to these. So make sure you do keep going. I like to make sure I'm hydrated well before then, because I know once these things start, especially for Dewey's, I tend to turn to more caffeines, whatever poison of choice that might be, coffee, tea, sodas, energy drinks, whatever to keep you going, especially through those last hours. So hydrate before, make sure you are well hydrated both before and during the readathon. What I like to do for mine is, these are some tricks, some tips and tricks I have learned from doing past readathons that can help you get going. First of all, kids are always a concern for a lot of parents. So if you have kids, I really encourage you to try to get your kids involved in these. Dewey's in particular is a lot of fun one to do, because even if they just participate and read for a short bit and read one little kid's book, it completely counts. So get them involved, have them join you, set up some fun foods for the day, and do that with them. If reading is not their thing, or they're too young, or that's not going to work out for you and you're worried, I don't have the time, how can I possibly spend this time reading? Talk to some friends and family, see if they can maybe take the kids for a few hours even, grandparents, aunts, uncles, even a spouse, the other parent, maybe they could take them on and take them out to eat or the park or go do something fun. If they can give you some time, some you time for this, that helps. Another option is reading with your kids. You reading a kid's book is completely acceptable. Audiobooks are also welcome. So just making it a fun thing for everybody is highly encouraged. Another thing I like to do is prep ahead. Now for me, this means cleaning up my house. I don't want to be worried about dishes or the floors look a mess or anything else while I'm trying to readathon. Then I feel guilty and it nags at me that things aren't done yet I'm just sitting around. That bothers me after a while. So I like to really make sure those things are done before I start the readathon. Another thing is letting your friends and family know what you're doing that weekend to maximize your reading time. This saves on interruptions of last-minute people showing up at your house, callings, or texts, especially for those that are close to you that you keep in regular contact with. I know, for example, my grandmother and I are very close, but when we get on the phone, I can be on the phone with her for a good hour before I get off. Or your best friend starts texting and you guys could just go back and forth and next thing you know, it's 45 minutes have passed. I've been there, I think most of us have. But if you let them know you're doing something that day, you're just unavailable, then you're safe. This sets you aside for emergencies, you know. The other thing I like to do is prepping ahead, prepping a TBR. So for that, I like a variety of genres when I'm doing these. I'm a major mood reader, so I may start one book and suddenly not want to continue it partway through because my mood's changed, or I think I'm going to read book one and when I sit down to read it, I don't want to. So I like to have a really large variety of books. I always have way more books than I can read. I have stacks, a couple, you know, multiplying this multiple times over worth of books in the end to choose from. This gives me, I just like a good variety within that. Anything from graphic novels to light nonfiction to even children's books, just to mix it up. This is also helpful to make sure your eyes aren't being overstrained for the change. It changes your pace up. Sometimes it can wake you up or refresh you if you need that breather. So having that variety for me is really important. Food is the other thing I like to prep ahead of time as much as possible. I start with making a shopping list of things I'd like to eat. I kind of spoil myself for these because I don't want to, you know, I just want to enjoy my readathon. So I get some favorite foods. I also get some energizing foods that are going to keep me going and keep me awake. So for me, for main foods, I usually do like a large pasta salad. Crock pots are also another great idea. You can set everything up, prep it the day before, and it's ready to go. And also there are foods that you can eat at your own pace. So the other members of your household, they can eat when they're ready. You can eat when you want. And there's no worries about stopping and cooking a meal. That is one time saver I really love to try to nix out before it starts. So if you do that, if you do cooking, again, I really highly recommend audiobooks. Another tip I really recommend is watch your eye strain. Having a variety of fonts in your books can help with that. Some large prints, or if you're reading on any kind of device, up that font size just to relax your eyes a little bit. It's another reason I love to switch to like a quick children's book in between every couple hundred pages or whatever I'm reading, or every few hours, just to give my eyes that brief pace. Another thing is either eye drops, reading glasses potentially, or even just a wash rag for you. It's either warm or cool. Just cover your eyes for 60 seconds and let yourself, you know, be soothed out. For food, when it comes to food, I have a variety of junk food and health foods. I love to usually have like a veggie tray for some munchies, you know, anything from celery and carrot sticks and bell peppers and such that I can just munch on, to sweets and candies and gummies and things like that. I try to stay away from messy foods, anything that can easily spill and make mess my book. I love finger foods, but things like Doritos or even worse is Cheetos can be really bad. I mean, last thing you'll do is be sitting there and you're reading your book and munching on your food, and you go and you touch that page and then there's that lovely orange smear that doesn't ever come off. I think we've all been there at some point or another, probably at least once. Not a fun thing. So I also, when I plan ahead, is think snacks that are good to handle while reading, because that's what I'm doing pretty much the whole time. Another thing is trying to alter the sleep habit slightly so you can match the time zones of these. Now the 24 and 48 you can do in either their time zone, which is Eastern, or in your own. However, Dewey's, everyone starts at the exact same time, and depending where you are in the world, that can really throw you off. So make sure you get a good nap in beforehand if you need to, be well rested, and just make sure you can just relax and enjoy this. Remember, this is just for fun. Enjoy it. Do what you can. If you say you got to go to work, we can work, you know, go read around that, especially for Dewey's. If all you can do is an hour, you did it. The 24 and 48, while the goal is to read for 24 hours during that weekend, a lot of people don't make that. It's still a fun thing to participate in. Everyone jumps up on social media. Everyone's chatting and cheering everyone else on. It's just a great way of getting some reading in, catching up on your TBR, getting some new book recommendations, and just making some new friends. So I really recommend both those readathons. Again, I'll put the links down below so you can check them out, and have a great day, everyone.